Mhm. Okay, guys, I'm going to start shortly. If anyone's here, I don't know. This is my first time using Zoom meetings, so I don't know if you guys can chat or talk at the same time as me. You can definitely use the group chat to ask any questions. I'm just going to post in our group that I'm live. If you're here, if you could talk or like write in the group chat. Because I'm not going to wait too long. I don't think we have a lot of people coming on tonight, so. And this is going to be recorded anyways. Hopefully we'll get a few people. Because I'd like to know what pairs you guys want me to, right, mark up. We'll definitely do the US dollar, Canadian dollar. I'm going to get started in just a second. I'm not going to sit here and ramble too long. Also, guys, this is going to be super informal. So like throw any questions you want. These are not going to be really formal videos at all. So if you want to like pipe up and chat, you can certainly do that. If I don't have that setting on, just write in like the Zoom group chat session and let me know. Because like I said, this is the first time I've used this website. All right, just gonna give it another minute and then I'll go. Let me see. Can I even tell who's on here? Okay, I do have at least one person on here, so we will get started in just 2 seconds. Maybe what we'll do is start with the US Canadian dollar. So let me share my screen because you can't really see anything. Okay. Oh, good. So I still have the group chat. Guys, if someone's here, could you let me know that you can see my screen? Like, are you able to let me know that? Because I'm... Okay, good. I wouldn't want to record a whole video and not have that. All right. And I can hear you guys talk, so that's good. All right, so let's look at the US Canadian dollar. If you guys saw my Instagram, you would know I just marked this up, but we'll do it again. So I do have 2 zones already drawn on her. I don't know if you guys trade this pair or not. If you want me to do a certain pair, I can certainly do that too. This is our first one, so I'm just gonna go based on the pairs that I usually trade. I usually trade, I trade this pair sometimes. Right now I am because we're getting some good movement. I also trade all the yen pairs. I trade gold. Obviously, you know that's my favorite pair. And occasionally Euro USD. So those are the pairs that I look at. But if you want me to look at something different, I'll look at something different. I can certainly do zones on other pairs and stuff like that. Do you want me to do like redraw zones on this pair? Is that something you guys want me to do? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to clear the chart because I already had this done. All right. So I don't know if you guys have seen the video on zones yet. Hopefully you have, but you might be in the beginning section, so that's fine. So what we're going to do when we're looking at zones, we're just looking at support and resistance, right? So for the first thing I would do, I look for a zone above, so an area of resistance or support above, and an area of resistance or support below price. So price is right here. I want a zone above and a zone below it. You could also have a zone at price, so we'll see when we go back and look. So what I'm going to look for first off is an engulfing candle. Okay, so I'm looking for like a really big candle like this, engulfing a smaller one. Now this one doesn't count, and I'll show you why. It's because this little red guy is coming down underneath. So hopefully you guys have looked at engulfing candles, but if not, that's fine. Again, we're just looking for like support and resistance, right? So what I will do is go back. We're going to go back and look for areas around price and look for a nice big engulfing candle, and we'll draw some zones on this. All right, so I'm seeing some areas here. And this usually takes me a while when I'm live because it's going to be a minute. Okay, so I can see one here. Now this guy's kind of big, but it is an engulfing candle, so I will draw it. It's okay if they're a little bit bigger because you'll see that we're looking at just zones anyway. I think TradingView changed this feature, guys, and it won't automatically do it anymore. I don't know if it's just me. Let me know if you guys are getting that too. And then I want one below. So I want a zone below. So I'm just looking, guys, I'm just looking for an engulfing candle, not just near price, okay? So I want a nice zone below. I guess I could use this one, but that's a bit close. I'd like something around this level here. Yeah, I guess that is it. Hey, we can draw it in and then look and make sure. So I'm boxing in this candle. Sorry, I know I'm doing this a bit fast. All I'm doing here is extending the rectangle. So if you haven't seen videos on zones, you just go to settings and just extend the rectangle by like making these numbers bigger. That's really it. And we do that so that we can go through and make sure price has respected these levels. Basically what you're doing is finding support and resistance areas versus just a line. I want to see if I can find something a bit lower. This is the thing when I do this live, it does take a while, so bear with me. Let me see. And then what we're going to do is confirm that these are valid zones, okay? I can see another really good one down here. This one's being respected a lot. I can tell you that right off the bat. This is another really good one here. Okay, so I see one here, all right, and I see another one down here. So probably what I'll do, this guy's going to be really big. I'm not going to include this wick here, okay? The top part of this wick, I'm just going to include the box. This does work as well. If you want to include the wick and have a really big zone, you can. It still works. It's just, I find it doesn't look as nice, that's all. It's just a little bit harder for me to read. Okay, so we have that drawn in. And then what you want to do is make sure that price respected your zone at least 3 times. I'd like to see it more, but at least 3 times. So I can see right here, price respected it. Okay, so respected it as a level of support, respected it as resistance here, support here. So that's a good zone. This guy up here, we can see it respected there, it respected there, respected there. So we're good. This middle one, I want to have more of a look at. Over here. Yeah, okay. So this is the zone I had drawn before, pretty close to it, that price is currently has just hit off of. So what I'm looking for on the US Canadian dollar, I'm only looking for buys, okay? Because we have a really strong downtrend. If you go to the daily or the higher time frame, we're on a really strong downtrend. I know someone did ask me to go into more detail on this, so I will shortly. Sorry, just looking, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna look and see if I have messages in the group. Okay, no, we're good. So because we're on a strong downtrend, I'm only looking for sells. Oh, sorry, someone just said I cannot access. You were in it before, what happened? Bear with me, I'm gonna send this link out again. I don't know why anyone would have trouble accessing. Because it is, yeah, okay, I don't know. Oh, it says he's here. Raheel, if you're here, can you write in the chat? Because I can see that you're on here. Anyway, I do have to keep going because I don't want to, I'll be all day. trying to figure this out. So because we're on a really strong downtrend, I'm only looking for sells. I don't often go against the trend, okay, unless I see like a big sign of reversal. Okay, good. So in this case, like I'm looking for sells. I want to come back up to this zone. So this zone here that we just drew, okay? And then sell at the zone. Now there are a few things I look for when I sell at the zone. So I need multiple confirmations, right? So I would need price to come up to this level, okay? Kind of like it did here. Oh, cool. You guys can share your face too. Good. If you share your face, you're going to be on the on the recording. So just know that. So if you come up to this, when we come up to this zone here, what I'm looking for is automatic rejection. So if you guys don't know, if you haven't watched the videos, I don't know where you guys are at in the videos right now. I can actually check that in my back office, but I haven't looked lately. This is the automatic rejection I'm looking for. Do you see how price, and this isn't a good example because it did kind of break out a little bit here, but do you see when it came up here, we saw it automatically start to come back down. So these big bearish candles, that's what I'm looking for, okay? You see one again here. You see one again here. So this is actually a perfect example. So price comes up, you do see a bit of slippage, but it tests this zone, okay? It's unable to break it, and we have a really nice doji there, okay? Really long wick showing us indecision. And then do you see this red candle? So do you see how price automatically started going back down? I can't hear. Can everyone else hear me? If anyone else is here, you can hear me? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Sorry, Raheel, it might just be your computer, buddy. Okay, so you see this big bearish candle. We want to get in at the bearish candle. This is my first confirmation, okay, is when price starts to automatically go down from the zone. That's my first confirmation. I'd like to have more than that though. So have you guys watched videos on, because I don't want to confuse you too much, fibs yet? Have you done fibs yet?
Yes.
Okay. So the Fibonacci is what I use as my second confirmation most of the time. Okay, most of the time this is what I'll use. Time to time I'll use other indicators like Elliott Wave or MACD, things like that. But mostly, this is the guy I go to. So we're going to, I can see you coming on there. We're going to look at, let me get rid of this actually. This is going to be confusing if I have him there. Nope. Okay, never mind. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was trying to do. All right, so we're going to look at the previous high, okay, and the previous low. So I want to look at the last move down, which would have been from the zone before. Oh, God. Click the wrong thing. I would do that. I'm sorry. My bad, guys. I want to look at this move from the top of my zone here to the bottom, okay? And then we want to box in. I like to enter, I don't know how you guys have done fibs before. I personally like to enter between 50 and 61.8. Some people will tell you 50.71. By the way, I think it's just your volume. Okay, he can't hear me though. So. Oh, this is less than perfect. I think it's your volume. Everyone here. Okay. I like to enter between 50 and 61.8. All right, so I would box in this area. Next time I'll know Zoom a little bit better. I'll watch a video on it or something. And I'm going to extend my rectangle again. Now, because this is a fib level, I'm going to make it a different color. And I don't care what color I make it. I'll make it orange. Okay, so this would be, if this was at my zone, it would be perfect confirmation. Obviously, it's not, but it's pretty close. So I would consider this enough confirmation for me, because if I wanted to, I could just use the next level, which some people do, okay? But that would be usually my second confirmation. And then third, oftentimes I'll use news release. So if we had news release in favor of the US Canadian dollar going down, then I would use that as well. But mostly it's price action. Okay, that's the number one. So I want to see price automatically start to come back down from it. I think the other question was about my story. So I don't know if you guys saw my Instagram story about the Canadian dollar being at a 9-month high. And all that means is that the Canadian dollar hasn't been this high for a long time. So we know that because of, I mean, news release, we all know that, right? So that means everyone knows that the Canadian dollar is at that 9-month high. And what will often happen then is the big corporations and hedge funds and all those things, they find out, and they too will look at these zones as being really important, which is why it's really important that you don't set limit orders at these really important zones, because we could potentially see a lot of people buy, okay? And we could see this kind of shoot up a bit. So that's all I meant by that, is that just really watch the zone. Don't enter like a pending order on this zone. You want to really look at price action. So that's what I think will happen. I think we're going to see price come down. I would like to see it come down to this zone here. If we look at the daily, we can see, yeah, so I mean, we really could see price come all the way down to here even, okay? If I did a zone on the daily, I would get one here. Just, let's go back and see if I can find a nice engulfing down here. I have one right there. Our daily zones are also going to be a bit bigger. Let's just see. Okay, we have this, and that one's a little bit above. I don't want to take up all day finding engulfing candles, and that's what often happens. Okay, let's use this one. I know it's big, but we'll make this a different color altogether. So this is our daily zone that I'm drawing, okay? I'm going to extend that out. And guys, this stuff is really, when you get used to doing these things, it's really simple, okay? It becomes really simple over time, so you'll start to get it. I am going to leave that chat down there. You want to make sure that price has been respecting this zone, and it has. I can see this is a really strong zone on the daily. I would personally like to see price come all the way back down here, okay? But that's what I'd like to happen. Obviously, we're going to have to look at price action and see. The other thing that could happen is we could see price come up above this level. So we could see a breakout above this zone. And I wouldn't personally buy this until it broke all the way up through this zone here. Okay, so you'd have to find your zone here, and I'd have to see price break that for me to enter a buy. All right. And that is the US Canadian dollar. Is there another pair you guys want me to mark up next? I'm not going to drag this on too long, so I'll do a couple of pairs. Let me write in the group and see. Are there any pairs? I'm just going to post that in the group just to see. Okay. So let's do, I want to do a yen pair. I think I did UJ for you, so let's do the euro yen. Okay. Let's get rid of all this stuff. If you guys want me to do like one of your pairs, just let me know. I'll do it. All right, so we're going to look at this pair. This is another pair that I trade along with gold. Okay, so I would say these are my top three. Just depends for the US Canadian dollar on news and all that, because you really do need to pay attention to news with that one. This pair, I'll tell you right off the bat, is harder to find zones on. It's just, I find the yen pairs in general, they're harder to find. So let's go back, and I know we have a zone right around where price is, but we're probably going to have to go back and look for it. All right, so let's go all the way back. See if we can find where price currently is. So we haven't been this low in a while, obviously. We're back to 2017 now. Okay, here we go. So again, we're just looking for engulfing candles. So I can see one here. And we're gonna change it back to gray. I like to make my zones different colors. That way I know, oops, which zone it is. Let's make it dark. Okay. I don't know why it's coming up a bit lighter, but anyway, it's gray. Okay, so this is a zone. I can tell right off the bat that it's respecting it. Price is here, okay. I can see another one here. See this engulfing candle here? So we have a nice one there. And we're just gonna check this guy, and then that's it. That was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. Okay, I think I've been selling EJ for a while now, you guys. Let's just check this. Let's check this zone, yeah. So we can see price respecting it, okay. We had a little bit of slippage here. But for the most part, okay, I can see a few times. Okay, so we definitely have a zone. Let's go back to current price and look at where we are. Oops, I don't want it to be. Okay, we probably could have got a few more zones in between here too. All right, but just trying to, hold on 1 second. I thought I had one right about here. I know I do. Okay, I'm gonna just draw this. So this is something I'll do too, and I'll just give you a tip here. If I can eyeball, like that I'm an eyeball a zone, so I can see that we have a lot of resistance here. I'll go back in time again, and I'll just keep that horizontal line. It's gonna help me find my zone, all right, that I'm looking for. So we're looking for an engulfing right around there. And unless I hear from you guys on a particular pair, this will probably be where I stop after we get this one done, because this stuff takes a long time and I'm a busy woman lately. Okay. Let's go back to where we were and look for another one. I do want one around this area, so we'll just take our time and find it. God, I can see that it's a great zone. Where are these? And this is what I mean with the yen pairs. They are a little bit more tricky to find zones on. And if I don't, I'm just going to use an imperfect one. Okay, nope, I've got one right here. So this guy, normally a lot less pressure on me too. All right, so we have this one right here. It's a little bit bigger, but that's fine. Like I said, if they're bigger, it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. I can't make it any smaller because the actual body is big. So we'll keep it around that size. So you don't need to include the whole wick if the wick is long. Now we're going to go back to current price, and yeah, so we can see that price has rejected this area a couple of times. So what I would want to see, we're really in a funny spot with where we're at, to be honest with you. We can see that price is kind of in the middle. There might be a smaller zone right here, but it doesn't matter. I would need to see price come down to this area, which is likely what it's going to do, and come back up to retest at least this. I don't think our fibs are going to line up with that. And sometimes they don't on the yen pairs. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. No, so it would be, and there likely is a zone in here, but we're not even going to look at that because price is at such a funny point right now. Like this isn't really a zone that, it's definitely not a super strong zone. I would still want it, it's going to probably come back down to here, okay? And then I want to see a retest. So there's really no point right now. This isn't something that I would enter. I wouldn't sell from here, definitely not, because we've already had this movement downwards. I think I actually did sell from somewhere up here, but what we want to see is something like this, right, at a major zone. And this pair does respect zones really well. So that's what I'm looking at on EJ. Sorry guys, I don't know if I'm going over things a little fast. Is there anything you want me to cover? I'm going to look in the group again, see if anyone's posted. Okay. So if there's anything specific you did want me to cover, I'm happy to go over it. I think the other question I had was how to avoid screen time, how to reduce screen time. That's really going to come down to your trading plan, you guys. So you need to have a really good trading plan. Like, what session do you want to trade? What pairs do you want to trade? If you've got a good trading plan, you don't need to be stuck to your computer. However, I don't often advise putting in pending orders. It's not something I like because how are we going to know? Like, I'm going to give you this as an example, okay? How are we going to know if price were to come up here that, like if we put an order in here, we don't know that price is going to automatically come down. We might see this happen. Look what happened here, okay? Price, if we had to put in an order right here at the same zone, price shot up, likely hitting your stop loss depending on your risk reward and all that. But that's why I really don't like pending orders. I want to see the market start to move down. I want to analyze, what things are happening. And if there's news release around the time of my trade, I want to be able to adjust it. So for that reason, I don't recommend that. But to each their own. If you find they work for you, I mean, you can certainly use them. But definitely just stick to your plan, stick to your pairs, and maybe have a time of day that you want to trade. Okay, that's the only thing I can really tell you to reduce screen time. It is a time-consuming field to be in. It's not something that it's not quick money. So, all right, so those are the two I think I'm going to stick with. I could be here all night, and I don't really know any other pairs that you guys want me to do. I'm wondering, actually, let's look at the Euro US dollar real quick. We'll do the Euro US dollar. That's another popular one. I do trade this one time to time. It's definitely not one of my top three, but this pair, you guys, is really good for beginners, okay? Really, really good for beginners. So if you're a beginner, you'll like this one. We'll do this one quickly. Okay, so we have a zone right here. Let me just see. I think I drew it around this candle, so I know this is a less than perfect engulfing candle. However, hold on, I'm just reading this. Okay, I already did the US Canadian dollar. Okay, good. I just drew it because I eyeballed the zone, so not good. You guys should not do that. Let's go back and look for a better engulfing. Let's do it the good way so I can show you. This takes time, so I know I've said that a million times, but it really does. So let's go back to around where price is and find some zones. And you can see when I'm drawing zones, like I'm not perfect about it. Zones are areas, right? So they're not going to be absolutely perfect. You just need to be, as long as you can go back and say, okay, price respected it, it respected it, it respected it. Like, look, it's, it respected it. Obviously, it respected it. It obviously respected it as resistance. Then I know it's a good zone. And it's really as simple as that, right? We do have an engulfing right there. It's a kind of a shitty one, but you can use it. It's not like a huge engulfing like this one. And I know, okay, so this is going to be another zone here, but I do want one here because I know that it's really strong. let's redraw this actually. Okay, so let's grab our rectangle. We're gonna box this in. I kind of like these small candles actually because they look really nice on the chart. Okay, and all I do is add zeros there for those who haven't watched this video yet. Okay, and I can just see that this is a really strong level. I know I see another engulfing there, but my next zone I'd look at is actually right here. So I'll draw, sorry if you hear my cats, guys, they're in the room. Let's just see if I can find something there where this is. Like the minute you want to find one is when I won't see it. Anything around here. So I'm just, again, looking for an engulfing candle to box in my smaller one, okay? That's all I'm looking for. I do find drawing zones on this pair usually pretty good. Could also look for something below, actually, while we're here. I know I have this one, but we'll delete that. Let's see if I see one lower. Okay, so I see one lower, so we'll draw this one in. So I'll draw, oops, that's not very good. Let's do that again. So I'm looking at this one here, okay? So just boxing in the smaller candle. We have an engulfing candle to the right there. All right. And we can see that's a pretty good zone. I can see it respected it there. I can eyeball and see, and you guys are going to be able to do that over time too. We can see all throughout here, price respecting it. Okay, and we have finally another one here. This is why I do try to have my zones done sometimes before I start the videos, but when I'm live, the pressure is on. So let's go back to where price is. Okay, and these zones are kind of, did I not do one below price? Okay, just this one here. So this zone's a little big, and again, that's fine. We could definitely find a few more within here as well. But let's just look at, I'm just giving you examples of drawing zones right now. If we stay here and draw all 5, 6 zones surrounding price, we're going to be here a really long time. So what we want to look at, price on this pair lately has actually been, oh, sorry guys, bear with me. Let's make this look nice again. Price lately on this pair has been a little, we had a nice downtrend going, and then we had a bit of a reversal here. You can see price started to come up, and now it's dropped. So we are at a kind of funny, a funny spot. You can see we're actually at a zone right now. And I personally would be looking for sells, okay? Because we've had such a strong downtrend. Let's go to the monthly. On the monthly, right? Do you see that? I really, at this point, would only be looking for sells, okay? Unless I see more signs of a reversal, okay? So if I saw price shoot up past this zone, shoot up past my next zone, which actually there would be one about here as well. But our next major zone would be this one up here. So there are zones, mini zones within all of these areas, right? But this zone here is really important. This is a really strong one that we've seen, because we've seen that multiple times, right? We've seen price hit this zone again and again. And this is the one we found back in time. And that is really telling too, because if we found that price was respecting this months, years, ago, it's a lot stronger than these little mini zones. So for me, if price shot right up and broke this zone, I would start looking for buys. Until then, I'm looking for sells. Actually going to look and see how price reacts here. So we might have a potential sell-off. We did have that indecision candle here. I'd need to see price start to come down a bit more, and then we could ride it down to a lower zone. You don't need to ride it all the way to because we do have a zone below this area, I think, if we go out. Anyway, I'm not going to look for it, but If we did find another zone here, I'm just going to mark this in super quick, guys. I'm not going to take forever and go back again. I like to ride down to my lower zone, okay? So we could potentially ride down to here. But I'll update you too when we see price action. So I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. When I see what price is actually doing, I will update you, but this is what I'm looking for. So I want to see right at the zone that it's at, some rejection, because we've seen that we've rejected it a few times. If I see rejection, I'll sell. If we see price keep floating upwards, I will wait to look for buys. I won't enter anything between here, between this area, okay? And that's that pair, okay? So I think that's all I have for you, unless someone did write in the group, but that was just for the US Canadian dollar, which I already did. And unless there's something else you want me to do, I think we will leave it here. So let me stop this recording and you guys are free to go. You can ask me any questions after. I will answer them. If you weren't clear about something I went over here, please tell me, because I'll slow it down next time, or I'll try to include more in the next video. But yeah, that's it. Okay, so I'll see you in the next one. And